Hey guys, I just want to take a second to recap on the project that you will be doing over the next week. Um, so here we go. I just want to go through it on Edmodo. I have posted a things to do post for Monday. I want all of you to read this whenever you get into the lab. I want you to go over it as a group and make sure that everybody understands what's going on. So first, you need to recap with your group and make sure that you have all of the duties assigned and that you're fulfilling all the parts of the project. I also suggest that you go over numbers, I think it's 1 through 5 or 6 on the front page of the packet that I gave you on Friday, because there are things in there that talk about, you need a works cited page. If you're going to do an interview, it talks about time limits that are on there, and there may just be something that you missed since I only had a few minutes at the end of class to talk about it. So check with your group. If there's any questions that you can't find a reasonable answer to, email me and I'll try my best to get back with you in a short amount of time. Number 2, you need to read over the check brick that is listed in the folder. This is what I'm going to use to grade. A check brick is similar to a rubric, and you've seen rubrics in writing class. Those are how Dr. Jacobs ranks you from, 4 being great, 3 being okay, 2 being you need some work, and 1 being so a check brick is a little bit different. Let me show you where it is. So you go to folders. The folder for the project is Republic of Texas project. And then right here, it's a rubric. Now I know it says American History Project, but it's the same rubric I'm going to use for you. It's general, and it hits on things by project type. So for example, this is what a check brick is. So it's literally you put a check in the box. A check that I did it, yes. A check that I didn't do it, no. So if you're doing the song or the rap, for example, I'm going to read it and I'm going to say, is it clear what type? Well, they had to write one on discrimination. So discrimination of African Americans, for example. So the 8th graders, it says, is it clear what kind of discrimination you're addressing? They could also have done Native American discrimination. Is their song clear about that? You have a different category for your song, I believe, but this is just an example. So what I'll ask is it clear what type of topic you're addressing? So is your point of view accurate? Does your point of view fit the time period? Are you making stuff up? Are you putting your own time period? Are you judging them not based on when you live, or are you judging them based on when they live? Is research evident? So did you just stick to what's in the book? Did you go out and do a little bit more research? I'm guaranteeing you I'm going to look to see if you did a little bit more digging. Is there a clear beat? Can this song or rap be sung like a song or a rap? If not, you need to check over that. And then typical English things are spelling, grammar, and punctuation appropriate. Now, if you do a timeline or any kind of poster or any kind of chart that is listed, I will use this one. So is it clear what information you're including on your timeline or poster? Meaning, do you have a title that relates to it? Is it organized? Okay, do you have it into sections? Or is everything just kind of garbled and it takes the reader a second to figure out what you're talking about? Do you have a reasonable quantity of quality events on your timeline or poster? That means, do you have enough stuff? And is that stuff of high quality? There shouldn't be a whole lot of white space. You have a big poster board, you need to fill it. You need to, if you have extra space and you have nothing else to say, pictures are a great way to fill that in. I've left some good examples in the front of the class for you to look at of what posters I liked from the 8th grade, and there's a couple of other things as well. So take a look at those, use them as your baseline of what I find acceptable. Again, is research evident? Are citations included? You pretty much need to go elsewhere and read up a little bit more on each subject. I expect an actual works cited page. Use Citation Machine to make a works cited. If you give me just a copy of the link to the website, I won't even count it. So you have to make an attempt on Citation Machine. Spelling and grammar again, and is your poster eye-catching or appealing? Political cartoons, we talked about using the links on that. I think I've kind of gotten my point across, but if you go through, every single one of these is covered. One thing I do want to point out on the PowerPoints or photo stories, okay, you need to make sure you research, but you need to check over these. So can someone walk away from your presentation feeling like they were educated? You need to do a PowerPoint as if you are educating someone that has never studied this before. Okay, imagine explaining it to your 4-year-old brother or sister. If they can understand what's going on, you've done a good job. The other thing is you have to include at least one photo on each slide. So let me show you as an example. Now you've seen, let me find it. Of course it's hidden. Okay, you have seen these slides before. Okay, every single one of these slides from your notes has at least one picture that relates to what is going on with the information. Okay, it doesn't necessarily have to relate to Texas. This image is about debt. I'm talking about the Texas debt, but there's nothing Texas-y about it. Okay, this one obviously I'm talking about immigration and what would it look like if we annex it, so a map is appropriate. Okay, talking about the Army, thinking back to why they fought. Okay, I'm talking about Sam Houston. Of course, it makes sense that he's on there. I could have also had a picture of George Washington here, or a map of Columbia. Anything that relates to the subject matter that is on your slide, you can have a picture of. So this is what I'm looking for when I say you need to have a picture on every slide. Now your slides need to be organized in a way that it's easy to read. Notice none of these have an overabundance of information. Now I know I sometimes end up doing that and you guys freak out because the slide is really long. I know that's bad. Okay, it happens. But yours should not be that way. This one's probably about as full as I would accept it to be, or find it acceptable. This one's a little full too, but it's mostly because it's all indented and it's off to one side. So I think you get a good idea of what I'm looking for. Back on topic. So when it says sensationalism article, you can skip that. There is nothing, you don't have anything assigned like this. That was just for the 8th grade. If you're doing essays, you need to stick to this. Anything that's propaganda. So propaganda is, why should you do this thing? Like, why should you come to Texas? Why should you annex Texas? It's a pamphlet or some kind of poster that gets people excited about your point of view, and you're trying to sell it. Imagine making a billboard or some kind of handout to get somebody excited about what you're talking about. That's what it is. There's one on interviews, and there's one on a children's book. I've left you 2 good examples of children's books in class as well. So, back to Edmodo. I've also included the Chapter 12 notes if you just need something to quickly reference in the lab. It's also there for your trimester test, if you want to hang on to them for that. And then if you lose your project requirements, here they are. Now let's go back to the announcement. I wasn't done talking about it. All right, so you read over everything, check. Begin working on your part or parts of the project. You are responsible for maintaining the appropriate pace. Now, this is important right here. I'm not going to be at school on Monday or Tuesday 2 weeks from now. So obviously I'm not here next week, but the following week I need to take Monday and Tuesday off to take care of some things. So you have an extra 2 days to work on this project. So you no longer have 5 days, you have a full 7. I expect to see quality work. I expect you to put time into this. It is quite obvious to me whenever somebody slaps something together at the last second. So if you're goofing around, even if your group members don't tell me in the peer review, it's going to be quite obvious to me. So please use your time wisely. I'm not expecting any of this to be taken home for homework, but if things are going awry in the lab, obviously you have homework. And finally, if you have questions, email me. I'll try my best to reply. I won't reply right away. We're not getting back into the hotel until sometimes 9 o'clock at night, and that's 9 o'clock DC time. So if I have internet access in the hotel and I have an opportunity to sit at my computer, I will reply to you. Otherwise, if 2 days have gone by and I haven't replied, assume that I can't get to my computer at all, and you need to work out a solution with Senora Blanco, or Dr. Jacobs will be willing to help come to some kind of solution that all of you think would be okay for the project, and I will talk to one of them when I return. Um, Otherwise, I think that's about it. I hope you guys have a great week, and I will see you 2 Wednesdays from now.